topic that I chose to kind of analyze and read about was the dangers of an all-powerful state. And I chose this because it's something that is prominent not just in the world and in the history, but also in literature. In the history of humanity, we've seen several instances of either a specific person or a group or a country just become all-powerful over all else. We've seen this through England's domination of the U.S. colonies, Hitler's reign over the Jews, or white people's self-proclaimed supremacy over blacks. Some authority and power is necessary to maintain some kind of sanity in the world, but it's when there's too much that it becomes dangerous. So the books that I read were the book 1984 by George Orwell and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And both of these were about dystopian worlds where groups of anonymous people were taken over by their governments who had power that was given to them by technology. And for the first book, 1984, the author Orwell lived during the time of the 1940s when there were a lot of wars going on, and he saw the dangers of a totalitarian state through like Spain and Russia, and just what happens when people become too powerful. So he wrote his book kind of as a warning to Western civilization. Huxley, during his research, discovered that governments had a tendency to intervene too much in human life. And so in Brave New World, we read about a dystopian world where the government controls the people by making them so obnoxiously happy that they kind of forget about their own freedom. So while this book is, it's not based on like actual circumstances, it's more for reader pleasure, it still serves as an effective warning of what can happen when people become too powerful. So both of these books kind of represent elements of doublethink. In Orwell, this is straight his quote, he said, "Doublethink means holding two contradictory beliefs in one's mind simultaneously and accepting both of them." So basically, a person who is in the stage of doublethink, he kind of goes through two different stages. The first, they choose to believe something that they know for a fact to be a lie. And then second, they start to believe it as an actual truth. So they deny it as a lie and then start to believe it as a truth. And we see this in both of the societies in these books. They were told something so many times that they knew was a lie that they start to believe it as a truth. So today, I believe that society is close to a tipping point. It's kind of a scary thing. But I think that humans kind of have a general instinct between what is right and what is wrong. But with the technology of today, I think that it's very easy for people to become swayed. And I think that governments are faced with a daily choice between what is right and what is wrong. And just a couple people could tip that scale. So I agree with Orwell, and I like that his book was a warning to government and society today to just be careful.